The dim glow of the research lab was the only light Alara had seen for hours. She was a historian by trade, but not the kind who spent her days buried in dusty books. Alara had always been fascinated by the gaps in history, the stories that weren't told, the silences between the loud events. She believed the truth wasn't in the grand speeches or the official documents, but in the quiet corners people often overlooked. One evening, while combing through an old government database, Alara stumbled across a strange anomaly, a directory with no label, hidden behind firewalls that seemed far too complex for something that shouldn't exist. Her curiosity ignited. After days of patient, relentless effort, she found herself staring at what looked like a massive, forgotten server. Her pulse quickened. On the surface, it seemed to contain archives linked to one of the most significant historical events of the past century, a turning point the entire world had studied, dissected, and debated for decades. The thought electrified her. Perhaps here lay the secrets that had never made it into textbooks. The missing puzzle piece. The conspiracy that would change history forever. The folder was locked. But after hours of trying, Alara noticed something odd. The security wasn't coded like modern encryption. It was clunky, almost personal. On a whim, she tried typing in the name of one of the key figures involved in the event, followed by a date of birth. To her astonishment, the server opened. Her hands trembled as she clicked through. Instead of hidden government files or shocking conspiracies, she found something completely unexpected. There were journals. Letters never sent. Half-written emails saved as drafts. Photos of ordinary dinners, pets, messy desks. Notes filled with doubts like, am I making the right choice? Or I can't sleep, the weight of this decision terrifies me. Alara leaned back in her chair, stunned. These were the private lives of people history had painted as larger than life. Generals, politicians, scientists, names that echoed in classrooms and documentaries. Yet here, stripped of their titles, they were just human beings, wrestling with uncertainty, loneliness, and fear. One leader, remembered for making a bold and fearless choice, had written in his private journal the night before, I don't know if I have the strength. I am terrified they'll see me as weak. Another, known for fiery speeches, confessed in personal letters to a friend, I hate how my voice shakes when I speak. I practice until my throat is raw. There were even snapshots of laughter, photos of these figures baking clumsy birthday cakes for their children, doodling silly sketches in the margins of serious notes, writing songs they never shared. Alara had expected to uncover scandal or conspiracy, something that would rewrite the history books. Instead, she found something far more profound, the truth that even the people who shaped the world carried cracks, insecurities, and small, tender moments. It was humbling. It was beautiful. For days, Alara wrestled with what to do. Should she publish the files? The world would devour them. But then she thought about what it would mean to take those raw, vulnerable pieces of humanity and scatter them across the internet. These people had never expected their innermost doubts to be displayed for public judgment. So instead of releasing the data, Alara wrote something else. She shared not the files, but the lesson, that history is not the work of flawless giants, but of flawed, ordinary people who made choices despite their doubts. She told her readers that courage is not the absence of fear, but action in the midst of it. That the cracks in our heroes are what make their achievements shine brighter, not dimmer. Her article spread like wildfire, not because it revealed scandal, but because it reminded people of something often forgotten: history is human. Every great act, every turning point, was made not by untouchable legends, but by people who were tired, afraid, and imperfect. Just like us. And in that realization, Alara herself felt a shift. She had always believed she was too small, too uncertain to leave a mark. But now she understood, maybe that was the point. Maybe the very doubts she carried were not a weakness, but proof that she, too, was human, and therefore, capable of shaping the story in her own way.